Okay, I'm back and I got water. Okay. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but the time had worked its cruel magic, and were beginning to fade. The beauty of the world, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Hold on. Tiny turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hands. His eyes were gentle but sad. They seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched her when she was just a little girl. She's been dead for a long time now. Kane didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and trying to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, she continued the shopkeeper. They let the ones close to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at the colony and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into the sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kane took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you. He said, it's a small village, and word travels quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? Thought Kane suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over her head and mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, he said as Kane scooted away yet again, and I owe her much. I wonder she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kane murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with the tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kane returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, in places, leading Kane to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but the old woman's hand collapsed around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandmother with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kane from head to toe, finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen for her grandchild. She leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kane with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, huh? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So, anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kane removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her a portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back a sheet of paper from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help me with dinner. But Kane would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artist. Kane took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kane finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make an easy drawing or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or incredibly a misshapen of loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. "Oh, Kaine," she said between laughter, "you truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush, I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always." True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she would interpret as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. "Posh," said the old woman, "I'll take it down when they roll me in my shroud." She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. "Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me so happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness." It was a moment that burned itself in Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride, love, and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who made her place in the world possible. Time moves on, people and memories move in and out of the life, ghosts passing through the hall. But this moment will be different, Kaine swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Oh my god! Kaine's dream separation.
It is closed.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What were you talking to then?
I'm not talking to you! Go away! Bitch! I'll come up there and beat your ass. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. "Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug." The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. "It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry." "Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs?" "Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bud," said Kaine. "And I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible." With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. "Oh yeah, that's terrible, alright." "Why, you little brat," laughed the old woman. "Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact." 5 years had passed since the moment when Kaine's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, their relationship had grown into fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more of the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she had used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kaine lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of burned berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up, surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, hold on." "Well, I was gonna check out the calma trees, see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take a wheelbarrow. Flagstones? What the hell for? Connie stared at her grandmother, then held out her arm and swept it around their home, constructed mostly of cloth and rope. And rubble. The old place sagged like a boxer in a fine world. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. God damn, girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway. I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other... Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that. A confused expression passed across the old woman's face. And for a moment, she was a small child lost at a carnival. Yeah, she said after a bit. Yes, of course, you're right. Sorry. And lately, it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer. The flower petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than she had seen when she was first received it. You're gonna be a true woman soon, Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. So that means less chatter about shades and building defenses, walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become. Annoyed, Kaine reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. You're a beautiful thing, said the woman, and there ain't nothing like you in all the world. I'm very proud of you. Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day. Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, girl, yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the room with a great grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Kaine in a quaking voice. Grandma, stop it. What the hell? The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... Kaine thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. Listen, she began. Maybe I should stay home after all. No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old cog girl like me. You'll go get fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead and ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore that she was gnawing at the walls of her heart. The worry that was gnawing at her arm. Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around. Don't turn around, she told herself. But in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun around on her heel for one final look and saw a small, bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kaine pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead, tracing its path with a finger. Kaine suddenly felt her stomach in a knot. On itself. No. Oh God, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as it was trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma! Kaine ran then faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she tripped on a stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kaine's mind began to race in the time of her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her. Gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke was from a fire mingling with the thick inky blackness of enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet and achieved balance through the means of a large armor-tailed scaled horn. And that's the first thing we fight, I think. And claws sprouted from its body in random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. Holy shit. Holy shit, I just felt water all over myself. Holy shit. Okay, well, back to the game, I guess. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend that such thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotten meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded with a scream of her own. "Alright, you bastard," she thought as her scream backed her off to hide curls around them. "It's you or me, let's go." Shade eyed Kaine with a bemused interest, and it began looking for her to the house and back again. From her to the house and back again. Instead of urging her to look through the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. "Grandma!" At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. "She's alive!" thought Kaine. "Alive!" Kaine's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard, the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the shade opened its mouth and let a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. "Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now!" As Kaine struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of the claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might as well been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, and collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kaine lurched to her feet only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that screamed through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. "Grandma!" "Hold on, just a little longer." Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were enclosed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, the distance seeming to increase with every second that had passed. The shade glanced between the two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its oar. "Bastard!" Laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion. But there could be no doubt that the shade was taking joy in their suffering. "Yeah, I see your plan." The shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe. It was clearly keeping her alive to snuff out her life when Kaine was close enough to touch her. "I'm gonna kill this bastard." Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward. but she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt on her foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. "Give her back," she screamed. "Give her back to me." It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted, laughed again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground, with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. "Kaine?" Kaine's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough to make out her grandmother's hand reaching out to her through the smoke. "Grandma?" "Kaine, you gotta run. You can't best listen." Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. "Grandma, come on, we have to go." The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thumped to the ground below. "Grandma, no! No! I said run, goddammit! You have to live, you have to get through." The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, the shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from the gaps in the creature's toes as a terrible putrid sound assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not peaceably be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was a twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been on her just moments before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, of the trembling fingers. Ugh. But then the sensation drifted away on the breeze and was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after the other, faster and faster until they became meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed, then a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth and dissolving into smoke onto the ground. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards the prey. I can't read anymore. Kaine's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bound at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her hands began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature was so confident just moments before it took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the woman. Laughing like a mad woman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing into the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly as if great weight was resting on it. Moist sounds in pain echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? Think I'm bleeding to death. No, can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames all faded. All of it faded until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. 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 Kill it now. As the spark that was kindly slowly began to flicker and die. She felt her desire to kill and desire her to live blend into one. The distance between her heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Oh shit. Finally! Damn, I'm tired of reading. Yeah, Kaine!
The The beast approaches. Oh, I know.
Do I have to fight again? I hope I don't. I think I do. Yeah, I do. I have to play as a NieR again.
What anger this creature must have. How did it even survive these past 5 years?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. It dies today.
My sword feels lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
Bruh, the fucking timer too fast. There we go. This damn video is about to be me just reading the whole time. Almost. Did I finally get to play as Kane? Kane's dreams and got there. Gently. Weakly. Softly. The shade that sure that his tormentor was dead turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way below one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge gulp of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed a ragged stub of arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought, with a mad giggle. This is gonna make a clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of their mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your eyes out and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror vibrated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. Don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine's mouth. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of her grandmother. Real life. Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing it with a sharp pincers. Stop, no, don't read that picture. Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at it in the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye to the back of the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother, as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled and broke into a jolly dance. "See that?" he cried, as he danced to Shig. "It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha, cha-cha." I looked like that? Oh God. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kylie laid her head back in the mud, into the smoke of her ruined house, and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. "Ain't you got a wish, sunshine?" The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if insanity somehow found a way to take form. Kylie wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. "You know, a wish, like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible sky man in the sky, save me, save me." Kylie finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. "I don't make any wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse. A freak. I should be left to die." The other voice boomed in her ears. "Wahaha! Oh God, you are the best." Kylie glanced down and saw black shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet, and then began moving upward to the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime clump oozing upward, feeling the hot, searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else it might have been, she was still alive, and this was real. "Come on," said the voice. "Let it go." Kylie tried to ignore the voice and tried to concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. "Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die. So, why not let me have it?" "Have what?" "Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind." The voice paused, as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. "And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in the blood, just like before." In response, Kylie shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the plain and encroaching black ooze. Are you a shade?" "Yeah, maybe. What of it?" The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed in the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kanye was struck by the most powerful sensation he had ever felt in life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Ew, hold on. I forgot what ecstasy means." Oh, okay. It feels good, don't it?" asked the voice with a chuckle. "Yeah, what can I say? I don't know how to please the ladies." Never will I ever say that again. "Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body, and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade." Ugh. A black lump began to protrude from Kanye's side. As she watched it, grew longer and longer and thicker, eventually taking form of her missing arm. "I can see better," she thought. "The eye must be growing back too. Hold on." The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering the request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in the cloud of smoke. Oh, what the hell, Sunshine, she screamed. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said we can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her mother and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I had to kill it before I die. Kindness glanced down before she saw a mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burning itself into her arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerily. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kindness stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letter seemed ready to puncture her skin and begin infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Candy took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish. I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood. Then go out in there and shut up, and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, Sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed, then dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Ha! Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, Sunshine. And there ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without an end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me? We got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sigh seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all that bad. There's plenty in it for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and that now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? People you want to kill? I can make it happen. That old fat kid who kept picking on you? That big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. Wait. Kaine, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would I help you? Why would you help me kill another shade? What? You think I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a good goddamn who you murdered, honey Bants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze fell on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me? We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want it. Fuck off, asshole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle the killing. Screamed the voice. Look at you go. No, Sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun together. So, listen, my name's Tyran, and if you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out on this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour, and I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade, and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. Hold on. Oh, he has a voice? Ha! Laughed Tyran. I've shit bigger than you. So good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing right now. You and me are sharing this body, but if you run out of hate, if you never know, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside of Kaine herself. Kaine waited until she was sure the voice was gone, then waved her new left arm around a few times. It feels perfectly normal, she thought. It feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already run. I'm not a shit. I'm Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubber of her house, being careful to ignore the certain red stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. The lunar tears? Yeah, it was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupted, a freak. Close the door! I'm gonna fuck them up. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually lightened into dawn and the people of the area rose to their daily lives, she remained in that position as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world. No more reading, please.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live. You gotta come back to us.
Oh, hey.
Oh. Hey, Emil.
Emil, you were the one calling me, weren't you?
You still recognize me?
Of course. I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow, you grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
She's gonna fall for him. Who am I playing as?
Shit. That's a long time. Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to finding her. We need a way to locate the Shadow Lord.
By the way, this is for you.
Is that a...
Oh, so
Lunar
she
tear?
did put the lunar tear that fucking NieR gave to her in her hair.
It's not as good as your grandmother's, but I tried.
No, it's great. Thank you.
Wait, who am I playing as? I think I'm playing as Kaine.
Kaine waking from her long petrified sleep.
I don't know who I'm playing with.
Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain. That is, until Devila and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
I think I'm playing against NieR. I might be wrong.
Are you kidding me? You can't be serious!
Please try to understand. People are tired and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to bear the brunt of that.
This is crap, and you know it!
It's okay. We can sleep outside.
No one's sleeping outside. You and Kaine saved this village, and now they want to run you out?
I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.